and I'm like, it was like the last place was made for him, and I was waiting for him to get last. Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? My name is Deborah, and today I'm here to do a review slash my thoughts slash rants on No Mercy episode 1 to 3.5. And I said 3.5 because I didn't watch the whole episode 3 because I just wanted to reach the rankings and then stop so I can talk about it till that moment. And then next week or whenever, if I can watch it this night, whenever I watch the remaining episodes, then I talk about the remaining from the half of episode 3 that I stopped at. And this is gonna be like, I'm just basically gonna say everything I want to say to the camera, and then I'm gonna kind of edit it later to work out. But I'm gonna try and basically just talk about everyone according to how they perform. So according to how they performed, I'll talk about them in terms of them as human beings or their backstory and everything, then talk about their performance and then the results, how I felt about their results and all. And then I'm gonna give a roundup of everything, my whole thoughts about everything. But I'm gonna try and see if it works out that way. If it doesn't work out that way, forgive me, but I'm gonna try my best to make it work out that way. But yeah, I also have a cough for those of you who don't know, so forgive me if I coughed in the middle of this, but it's getting better, so it's not gonna be bad like I'm gonna be coughing throughout. But yeah, just wanted to point that out to you all. Alright, so without further ado, let's start. Alright, so first of all, let's start from the very beginning, from the very first place to start. Yes, I'm singing Sound of Music. Alright, first, I think it's only right to talk about the beginning of the show before we go to the people that started the show. So first of all, the intro. Was I the only one that was mad when I didn't see the intro of episode 1 as the same intro of episode 2 and 3? That intro was the baddest intro ever. It kind of reminded me of Icons. No offense to anyone out there who doesn't like people comparing groups to other groups, but yeah, it kind of reminded me of Mix and Match opening team when Icon comes and they're being all bad with themselves. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But I feel this was not like the song, but like the, okay, y'all forgive me, but I really need to compare this, okay? But like the dancing and everything was more cool than Mix and Match's own. That's for the intro, but I prefer Icons like opening theme song and all that. But yeah, I just kind of had to point that out. Forgive me. I'm feeling so guilty because I really do love Icons. I feel so guilty. Icon, I promise I am not cheating on you. Okay, maybe I am with Shonu, but yeah, I just kind of revealed the secret there, didn't I? Anyway, so yeah, I really loved the beginning, and I was kind of mad that they didn't put that same beginning for episode 2 3. Like episode 2's opening 2 was cool, but like episode 1's opening was the bomb. It just killed everything, and it made me really hyped and excited for the show. But yeah, I wish they did that. Now let's go to the show itself. Alright, let's start with the characters and everything. So when they started the show, I didn't know what I was meant to expect from the show, but we just went straight into evil ranking system. I call it evil because we just started and they were already bringing out all these emotions in me, because this is different from other survival shows, and me, I'm a YG girl, and you know YG is all about survival shows. So this is totally different from other survival shows that I've watched, in that this does a whole ranking system whereby they rank every contestant, well, they're contestants right now, but all of the idols that want to debut, I'll call them contestants. They rank the contestants according to how they perform, and depending on your ranking, you get cut off, which is totally different from mix and match system and Winner TV and everything that I've seen, every other survivor show that I've seen, and it just seemed kind of heartless. And I'm like, shoot, YG, I thought you were heartless, but this is heartless. Because in the beginning, the first thing we saw was them showing their performance, right, to the judges, and after they showed the performance to the judges immediately ranked them, and it was so sad seeing the last become the last and the second to the last become the second to the last, and just knowing that these people think that you're not good enough, and you know that you just gave up maybe your best and they're telling you you're not good enough. It kind of kills your spirit. So I just thought that was really heartless, and I'm like, oh my freaking goodness, I don't know if I can do this, because I try. YG emotionally drains me enough. I don't know if I can go through this emotional roller coaster again, but I went through it. And then finally we started the show, and the first person we met was I'm sorry, I just really do love him, was Shonu. Alright, I have so much to say about Shonu, okay? First of all, Shonu is this contestant. Well, for those of you who haven't watched it, Shonu basically was a JYP trainee, and he was supposedly meant to debut with GOT7, so they should have been GOT8, but he was cut off, and that's because, let's just put it as, he wasn't mature enough. He was doing certain things that he probably shouldn't have done, etc. So let's just say he wasn't mature enough, so he was cut off, and then now he's with Starship Entertainment trying to debut again. And then he went to visit GOT7, and naturally, if you were dropped off from a group and you're going to meet the group members who you haven't seen in a while, you feel awkward, and he felt awkward and all, and he met them. But I like that they were friendly to him. But then they went on this dinner, everything. And after that, they were talking about how he was the best trainee amongst them, and he was actually meant to debut with JJ Project and stuff. They thought he was gonna be like the main thing of GOT7, but he didn't debut. And after that, when they were leaving, GOT7 just came out, and there were this whole group of fans out there waiting for them. And next thing we know, GOT7 was leaving, and everyone, like all the fans, just left with GOT7, and Shonu was just left standing there all alone. And I'm like, seriously guys, there's Shonu. Don't you know who Shonu is? Well, duh, their brother, they don't know who Shonu is, but I felt so bad for him, and I just badly wanted to give him a hug. And I'm just like, Shonu, I promise you, I've got your back, and I'm gonna make sure you debut. And it was just the saddest thing to see him, like, oh my freaking goodness. It was heartbreaking to just see the fans just, how they just left with GOT7, and he was just left there standing, and no one knew him. And I felt so bad for him. I still, even thinking about it, I still feel bad for him. I'm like, oh my freaking goodness, what the heck? That is Shonu. Like, don't you know who Shonu is? Anyway, so yeah, Shonu is a vocalist, for those of you who don't know. And Shonu finally came to perform. So like I said, I'm just gonna basically talk about everything, their backstory, their performance, and then what I thought about the final result. And so Shonu came, and then he performed, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's my boo right there. And he performed, and then he danced, and I was really, because Shonu is a really good dancer from what I saw, so I was really expecting so much. I think I put my expectations too high for Shonu, and then he performed, and I wouldn't say he let me down, but I felt he could have done more. From what I saw from his backstory videos, Shonu could have done more in that performance. I was just waiting for him to like bring it, especially with the dance, because that is Shonu. Shonu is dance, and dance is Shonu, but that didn't happen. But anyway, he still danced really good, but I was expecting more. I don't know if you get me, but yeah, he finally did perform. And then at the end of the day, the judges said good stuff about him, and he was the first contestant to go up there and do what he did. You gotta give him props, okay? Because I'm sure he was really nervous and stuff. So yeah, he did that, and after he did that, at the end of the day, he came out second place. And okay, I don't I have a problem with him getting second place because, to be sincere, I'm gonna be really sincere. Like, Shono, you my boo. Like, you're like one of my top boos, and I'm gonna tell you who I love most later. But I didn't think he deserved second place. But I was so freaking happy he got second place because he's Shono. But I didn't think he deserved the second place. But I was happy he got the second place. Alright, so that is for Shonu. Now let's go to the second person, Juhan. Okay, Juhan. Okay, if you're gonna rap about certain idols, if you're gonna diss idols, then you should diss them with good lyrics. Alright, y'all just like, oh, Deborah's about to go in. Not really. Okay, basically, Johan, I had high expectations for him too, because he seemed like this badass guy who could rap and everything. And y'all know, for me, rap and dance are like my two big things. If you can do that and then really, really high notes, you're my boo and all. So Juhon came and we saw him, and I actually did like him until he said he was gonna take the first place from Shono, and I'm like, hold up, you're gonna do what? We're about to box each other right here and stuff. But yeah, so if I liked him 80%, it went down to 70% when I heard him say that, but that's what he's meant to aim for. But I mean, it's Shono, forgive me if I'm biased. So he went and he rapped, and when he rapped, he started so good, and he had like the charisma, and he was like the baddest dude in the game. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna give me something. And then he called GD's name and he called Doki's name, and I'm like, ooh, he's gonna diss them. And I was ready for it because I'm a huge Eminem fan, and if you know anything about Eminem, Eminem is the father of dissing other artists, okay? But he disses them with like dope lyrics, crazy lyrics that makes you think. So I was actually waiting for him to bring something, and then the lyrics were so, forgive me any fan of his out there, but this is just me, but the lyrics were so mediocre. Like, it was the most mediocre thing I had ever had in my entire life. That was really mean, I'm sorry, okay? But it was so mediocre because I was expecting so much. If you're gonna diss GD, at least bring good lyrics, okay? Like, I have no problem with you dissing GD. I was actually hyped up waiting for him to diss GD, even though GD is like my boo, one of my number one boos in the K-pop, whatever world, K-entertainment world. He's one of my number one boos. But I was waiting for him to diss GD, and the lyrics were so mediocre, and I'm like, this is it? Seriously? This is it? But the performance, he killed it with his performance, but the lyrics just brought everything down. And when they were praising him and all, I'm like, what are you guys doing? His performance was good, but the lyrics sucked. And at that moment, I was praying for San E or Tableau to be amongst the judges, because I really wanted to hear what they had to say. And I'm like, I really wish Papa YG, Tableau or San E were here, because I don't think they'd have given this boy like a good mark for this, because his lyrics were not that good, okay? Maybe I expected too much because of what Mad Clown said about him and his black backstory, because he has already released something with Mad Clown already. So people already kind of know him, some people know him, and I was expecting so much from him, but he just let me down totally with the lyrics. And for me, one of the huge things about rap that I love is how so poetic and lyrically deep and crazy it is, and he didn't bring that for me. And I'm like, your rap is like, his rap flow is really good, his performance, everything, he killed it. Just the lyrics was what basically murdered it for me, and I'm like, this is not it, okay? So he got the first position in the whole ranking in episode 3, which I didn't agree with. He didn't deserve number 1, he didn't deserve number 2, he didn't deserve even number 3 to me. So I really did not support that result, and I wasn't happy he got that result. And I'm like, I like him, I do like him, but he let me down with like the lyrics and stuff. And I'm like, he didn't deserve this position. I don't know what the judges were thinking, maybe because he really killed it with his performance, but he really didn't deserve this position to me. That's just me now. Next came the 3 flower boys, who I didn't think were as fine as Shono, but they were hyping them up so much as the finest, and I'm like, three of you added together are not even half of Shonu, but okay. And then Hyungwon came, and he is, I think, the finest of them to me, of the three. And then he came, he's a model all already, and then he came and he sang, which was basically okay. And then he danced, and I'm like, this, you could feel it in his movements that he was smooth, and this dude actually knows how to dance, and he brought it with his dance. And I felt so bad because when he danced, I turned and I looked at my side, and I'm like, Shona, I'm so sorry, but I mean, he brought what I was kind of expecting from you. And it was so hilarious because at that moment they showed Shonu's face, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel so bad though. But he really did bring it. And he doesn't dance better than Shonu, which is the part that kind of annoyed me, because I feel Shonu dances better. Maybe this is the bias me talking, but I really feel Shonu dances better, but Shonu didn't really bring everything that he has. Maybe he's saving it for later, but yeah, he didn't really bring it. But this guy like actually did bring it to a certain extent, even more than Shonu and stuff. So I really liked Hyungwon's dancing. And then next came Min Hyuk, and then Min Hyuk, number 10 at the beginning before they changed his number later, didn't show much of a performance as I wanted to see. And then next came Wonho, and Wonho's performance was so hilarious because he was gonna show us his abs, right? So I was sitting down there and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting to see Boo's abs, and he did his thing, and then he was about to show the abs, and I didn't see nothing. Dude, what the heck? But I think he was just really, really nervous, and that's why that happened. But I just thought that was so freaking hilarious though. And then next came Jihyun, and oh my freaking goodness, Boo! He sang Heya, right? And he murdered it. He basically killed it. You know, okay, if you're a YG stan and you're watching this right now, then you probably know there's something that Papa YG always says, which I definitely agree with, and it's definitely bringing the emotions, expressing the emotions in your singing, and just being sincere. And then there's something that JYP always says, that you need to sing in your own voice and stuff. You don't want to pretend to be someone you're not. And he basically did all that, and when he knelt down, hey, when he knelt down, he's like, hey yeah, that was it. He basically I'm like, he just murdered every single person here right now. And then I feel so bad about this because when he was done, I did this. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, Shono. It seems like they keep pushing you down. I'm so sorry. Okay? He killed it so bad that I felt, and at the end of the day, he was, I believe, number 4. I felt that was a wrong result. I felt Jihyun should have been number 1 or number 2. Now I'm coming to who the second, because now, you know, I said I didn't think Joohon should have been what he was, and Shonu too should have been what he was. But Jihyun, I was basically, that was the moment that I was like, this is it. This guy should have been number 1. Jihyun, we had already heard so much about him and how he can sing, and basically I was expecting so much from him, and I am so happy he didn't let me down. He actually blew me away, which is really good for someone that I had such a high expectation for from what they had said about him. And he really, really did bring it though. So I really did love Jihyun's performance. Jihyun killed it, and I definitely felt like he didn't deserve the number they gave him. I have no idea why they gave him that number. Like, he should have been number 1 or number 2 at least, but he should have been in the 1st or 2nd place, and that's just me right now. And then next comes Yoonho, and Yoonho, when Yoonho came, I really didn't know what to expect from him, but I was hoping he'd do good. And then he came with his whole hat, and he was looking all cute with himself, and when he started rapping, he held the mic like this, and I'm gonna show you. he started rapping, and it felt like I was watching Mino rap. And I'm gonna show you the rap that I'm talking about. When Mino was rapping and what he did, and it was the exact same thing. So I was like, oh, he gonna break it, because you know Mino always brings it. So I was really expecting so much from him, and then he just went downhill, and I'm like, how do you go so wrong? How did this happen? And after that though, he came with his dancing, and he definitely killed it again. And I had to like turn again on my shoulder. I'm so sorry. And I felt so bad because each time the people danced, it felt like they were always showing Shonu's face. And I'm like, what are y'all trying to do though? Even though I was doing the same thing. But yeah, he came, and so when Mad Clown talked about how he started, was it Mad Clown or the other guy? No, I think it was the other guy that spoke about how he started really good and then he just went downhill. I'm like, I actually do agree with you, because I expected so much. He started really good and then he just went all downhill, and I'm like, dude, what went wrong? Like, what happened? How did this go so wrong? But he definitely did kill it with his dancing, and I really, really did love his dancing. Now let's go to the next person. Sukwon. Sukwon was basically basic. Basically basic. Ooh, that's a good one. He was basically basic with everything, so there was nothing like really crazy about him. And then God, oh my really goodness, is there a hole I can hide myself? I wanted to hide.